with an update on the CM Punk lawsuit and more. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Mentioning the coming out segment from Anthony Bowens on AEW Rampage, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful said, "We've learned some more about the angle, which also featured QTV, Harley Cameron, Max Caster, and Billy Gunn. The segment saw Harley Cameron hitting on Anthony Bowens before he proclaimed he was gay. We're told the segment was largely put together by Billy Gunn and QT Marshall. Marshall had spoken with Anthony Bowens about proclaiming he was gay, if he was comfortable with doing so, and Bowens was all for it. At one point, the segment was scheduled for Dynamite, as the Acclaimed had mentioned that they would be on the show. However, we're told that it was moved to Rampage to give it the time that it needed." Giving an update on Liv Morgan for the next premium live event, Sean Ross Sapp noted that Liv Morgan is scheduled to be in London this upcoming week for Money in the Bank. WWE sources had feared she may miss the entire summer. Speaking about facing Goldberg at AEW's All In event in London, Ryback told the Roundtable Pro Wrestling podcast, "Ultimately that will be up to him. The next step, my first step was creating buzz and just seeing where everything is at with that. You got people that are for it and you got people that are against it, and then they start arguing. That's a really good thing with that. The next step that has to take place is to get in contact with Bill and have a conversation. Ultimately, that's going to be his choice. I can tell you personally, for this to appealing to me, I want it to be on the biggest platform that it could be on. I want for everything I got going and everything with the WWE that has happened, for me, getting media for this. TV appearances, media appearances, so I can tell my story and tell this story properly. I think that's hard to do. You heard the talk of doing it in Israel on pay-per-view. I think that's fine. I understand that, and I'm not against that, but I do think it's better served for him. I think it would be better done in AEW All In if it's something that could be done and worked out." On that same podcast, Ryback said this about having a conversation with CM Punk regarding the comments Punk has made about him. "I don't know everything that happened with Punk, but that was the one thing that was frustrating when he did the interview, was I know he was telling the truth about some of his dealings with them. A lot of us know how they are with things like that, and he had personal issues with me about some things, and he decided to tell a few lies. It is what it is, and he's done things on purpose and not on purpose. Said I dropped him on concrete, there was padding. The table spot had padding. The spot wasn't perfect. He didn't go through the middle of the table, but he landed on padding. WWE doesn't do stunts without padding." That's where it was frustrating to me, because he told certain truths in there, and then he mixed in some lies to make himself a victim. I'd love to talk to him about it, and hopefully one day we do. During the most recent Friday Night Smackdown, many fans noticed that WWE failed to mention the city they were in, as Ringside News wrote. Despite the presence of thousands of enthusiastic WWE fans at the Cajun Dome, the millions of viewers watching the show around the world did not hear the lead announcer Michael Cole specifically mention Lafayette. While Michael Cole did acknowledge that the show was broadcasting live from the Cajun Dome, he consistently referred to the location as in Louisiana rather than mentioning the city's name. This is actually not uncommon, because WWE has done this several times before, even referencing a university's name instead of the city they are actually in. There are a couple of possible reasons why WWE chose not to explicitly mention Lafayette during the broadcast. The less likely reason could be attributed to the previous Monday Night Raw show held in Lafayette, where the audience appeared disengaged. It's possible that WWE wanted to avoid any negative associations with the city and opted for a more generic reference to the state. Another reason that they didn't give love to the host city could be that the show focused on introducing newer superstars who were unfamiliar to the Lafayette crowd during the previous event. WWE might have decided to distance themselves from that particular experience by not highlighting the city's name during the Smackdown broadcast. While the exact reasoning remains uncertain, it appears WWE made a deliberate choice to refer to the location more generally as in Louisiana rather than specifically mentioning Lafayette during the broadcast. Touching on a rumor regarding the Street Profits and Bianca Belair, Steve Carrier wrote that we've heard a lot of reports in the last week, and Ringside News reached out to inquire about a plan to move Montez Ford and Bianca Belair to Raw on their own. We are told this is 100% fake news. Saying this about the physical condition of AEW star Saraya, it was reported that Fightful Select has learned that Saraya was backstage at the June 21st AEW Dynamite tapings in Chicago and will likely be returning to programming soon. We're told that she was briefly sidelined for undisclosed reasons, but that they weren't serious and isn't a long-term injury or anything of that nature. Saraya has already wrestled 7 matches since returning to AEW in-ring action last November, averaging about 1 a month. This equals the 7 she had upon her 2017 return to the ring before her unfortunate injury. With her previously being the victim of stalking as well as an attempted kidnapping, Sonya Deville revealed the plea deal she made in this case, telling Maria Menounos, "It's bittersweet. I was mentally prepared to go to trial, and then it went a different way. I'm very grateful of the outcome. I think it's great and my lawyers are happy with it, so I trusted their advisement and I think it's good. I was just mentally prepared for something else, so that's a little weird thing that I went through recently with it. There's been so much and I haven't talked about this at all yet, so there's just so many layers to it," she said. Deville recalled how she had been preparing herself mentally to potentially relive the events of the break-in during a trial, but that the goal had been to avoid a trial. Later, she recalled the feeling she had in the days after the break-in. "That night after the incident, I thought I was going to go back into the house and sleep there because I was stubborn, and I was in shock, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know left from right at that point, and then the sun goes down. I'm uncontrollably shaking, and I'm in a hotel room under an alias name because I'm so paranoid that even though he's arrested, he's somehow gonna find me. I have a dresser pushed up against the door. I made Mandy Rose slide the dresser in front of the door on the 15th floor of this high-rise hotel." As you may be aware, CM Punk is threatening to sue pro wrestling personality Bill Body over him posting a t-shirt design that insinuates that Punk is a pedophile. Body explained why Punk is suing him, saying on Dirty Sheets, "Let's circle around to the letter. The letter has requested that I do the following things. You must immediately and permanently remove all of the images and statements referenced above, including but not limited to all image of the hateful t-shirt described above, from all social media accounts, websites, and other media that you directly or indirectly own or control, including but not limited to all websites and social media accounts of or associated with lockbetting.com and the Dirty Sheets, as well as any other social media accounts, blogs, chat rooms, and other forms of media." Now, I did delete the tweets related to the t-shirt. I did this because I only want to be responsible for what I'm responsible for. I didn't create that, didn't sell the t-shirt, so this is not a case of me not standing my ground. This is a case of me saying, go take your up with the people that did it. I'm not taking the hit for other people for sure, but I have not removed my original tweet because that's how I was able to read it. You must take all steps necessary to cause any persons and media who published, disseminated, republished, or reposted your false and defamatory statements and images concerning Mr. Brooks to delete and take down those false statements and images from all social media accounts, websites, and other media. Obviously, again, not doing that, you must immediately post prominent public retractions and apologies on all websites, social media accounts, and other media where any of your defamatory statements concerning Mr. Brooks were posted, published, or republished to date. Your retraction and apology must be unequivocal, and it must state without reservation or qualification that your statement concerning Mr. Brooks were entirely false, including the absurd suggestion that he is a pedophile. Not in one place did I say that. Is that anywhere? You deeply regret having published each of the statements and images, and you apologize to Mr. Brooks for having made and published the statements in question. You must confirm in writing your completion of each of the foregoing steps within 24 hours. If you fail to take all of the foregoing steps promptly and provide us with written confirmation that you have done so, our client is prepared to take whatever steps he deems necessary to protect his legal and equitable rights. Our investigation is continuing. All of our client's rights, claims, remedies, and positions are reserved deserved. This letter is not intended, nor should it be construed as a complete statement of all the facts and or issues that are or may be relevant to the matters addressed herein or any other matters. They want to pretend in this piece of paperwork that I deliberately made these comments to hurt CM Punk. Now, if I deliberately said these comments, that means that I deliberately wanted to damage the reputation of CM Punk. As we move forward with this, they asked for an apology at the end of the letter, where they want me to retract the comments and even admit that I deliberately tried to insult and defame CM Punk. This is not the case because, as we just established, I feel this way. Everything I said is genuinely what I think. It is my opinion, even to the point where you make the comment where I say he's not man enough to be a dad. These are my beliefs. I genuinely believe that if you have the money and you have the capability to have a child, you should have a child. That's what we are here to do. We are here to recreate. As we move forward with this, they asked for an apology at the end of the letter, where they want me to retract the comments and even admit that I deliberately tried to insult and defame CM Punk. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.